The Ryhope Pumping Station began operations in 1868 as part of the North East water supply network. In 1852, the Sunderland and South Shield Water Company was formed to supply clean water to the growing population. It hired engineer Thomas Hawksley to design this twin-engine pumping station. The house and engines form an integrated structure. R&W Hawthorne built the engines at a cost of £9,000. In 1967, the water company shut down the steam pumps in favour of a nearby electric station. With continued extraction, the water table fell below the surrounding sea level, posing a risk of saltwater infiltration. The new Derwent and Kielder reservoirs have taken over, and they now supply much of the north of England. The Ryhope Pumping Station is a Grade II listed structure that English Heritage has designated a scheduled monument. The Ryhope Engines Trust, founded in 1973, saved the pumping station from demolition more than a century after it was built. The 8 trustees and 20 volunteers worked for 5 years to raise the funds and legal considerations required to keep the station open for public education and recreation. The station's preservation comes at a high cost, which the Trust raises through public donations. This money pays for the restoration work, monitoring and maintenance, as well as engineering work to ensure that everything is in working order. Northumbria Water owns the property but does not finance the museum. Despite difficulties, the project is still a success. The station is open to the public most summer weekends, with 10 steaming days per year. To build the pumping station, the water company used both local workers and experts. Before completing the walls, they raised the 22-ton beams and 80-ton flywheels into position. Engineers dug deep foundations for the engines and other machinery. Many people have worked at the station over the years to keep it running. Ken Francis, a former employee, recalls detecting a fault in the pipes.
We knew when a problem was coming. You'd get a faint vibration and we'd know the pipes were getting clogged. We could get in there and clear the blockage before any damage could be done.
These stories of the employees and their dedication to the station give it a special place in the hearts of the locals, who have benefited from abundant clean water. The local northeast firm R&W Hawthorne of Newcastle built the engines as a pair of double-acting compound rotated beam engines. Possibly the finest pair of compound beam engines in Great Britain, according to Stafford Lindsley, local industrial historian from Seaham. The valves in this double-acting engine admit steam to both sides of the piston in turn, so that each stroke produces power. We call these engines compound because two parallel vertical cylinders push one end of the beam. The first cylinder receives high-pressure steam from the boilers and transfers it to the low-pressure cylinder, which exhausts to the condenser. A compound engine is more efficient than a single-cylinder one of the same power. Because the lower pressure steam exiting the high pressure cylinder has a larger volume than when it entered, the low pressure cylinder must be larger. The term rotative refers to how the up and down motion of the beam is converted to rotary motion by the crank. The beams use the James Watt parallel motion to ensure that the piston rod remains vertical while powering the arc tracing beam. The linkage forms a parallelogram to make a 6-bar, 7-joint motion. These governors cut off steam if the engine goes too fast. They do not otherwise control the speed of the engines. The three 1908 Lancashire boilers provide power to the engines, replacing the 6 original less efficient Cornish boilers. These furnaces consume 64 kilograms of coal per hour.
Oh yeah, as you come in, yeah.
I fire them up with wood. We'll keep the wood in here. We'll keep the wood in there. Keep them dry. Start with like a V shape. So if you see this here, that is a diagram boiler. So inside there is a firebox sort of thing. It's a Lancashire boiler. Pretty much made in Lancashire. This is a steam called a steam donkey, runs by steam. This is the regulator here. That's the regulator. These are cylinder drains. So these open, and that's cracked open slightly to, as you can see.
The Ryhope Pumping Station is an example of Victorian engineering at its finest. This is Britain's industrial history. It serves as a reminder of the importance of generations of engineers and scientists, as well as the pioneering spirit that produced cutting-edge technology of the day. The Ryhope Engines Trust is dedicated to preserving the station for educational and recreational use. It has spent a lot of money and effort to ensure that everyone can enjoy the museum. Since 2016, wheelchair users and other people with limited mobility have been able to enjoy this site. The Ryhope Pumping Station will go down in history as a highlight of British innovation and engineering. The benefits of its preservation will be enjoyed for many years to come.
Watch more from Radio Jonaphone. Subscribe to the channel. Enjoy.